I think the thing that stands out is the pitching, certainly. They've stayed relatively healthy, I think, with the starters. The relievers have been good. They prevent runs. I think they do a good job catching the baseball. They're down Chapman, certainly in Bailey this series, so that's going to probably cut into it. But they've done a really good job of preventing runs.
Sheehan only went 3 1/3 yesterday. What was the report? Kind of need another one because he didn't get through 4. Where is he at?
Yeah, I think that's the thought right now, is just kind of figuring out, what's next for Emmett. I think the stuff was better than the line score. Whether he needs another one there or he joins us. So I think that's kind of what internally we're going to make that final decision here in the next day or two.
Dave, what was the report on Tyler today, and how good is it to see another guy take another step?
It was really good. Tyler, I got to see with my own eyes, and the velocity was there, the swing and miss, the delivery. Talking to him after, he was really excited, and so there'll be another simulated game, 2 innings next week. I'm not sure exactly which day, but we're very encouraged. I thought the stuff was really good, and Tyler was pretty excited.
Is this pretty much a full build-up for Tyler, like once he gets to the point where he can go on rehab?
Yeah, I think so. I would say the goal would be to make sure we at least get him to 5 and 75. So I think that now, if you look at going today and then next week do a 2-inning situation, then you kind of continue to go from there. But today was very promising.
Skip, you just had the Padres, Giants are in town, you the Padres again. How critical is this stretch?
It's really critical. I think that you're sort of trying to, you see the schedule, you see the opponents, you see where your ball club's at, and you just want to kind of, keep trudging along and play good baseball. I think we've managed it pretty well, and we haven't seen these guys in obviously all season, so it's going to be an exciting series. A long-time rival who they're playing. They found ways to win baseball games. They're playing good baseball, and so it'll be a good series. And then obviously we got San Diego for 4, so it's going to be a fun homestand.
Over the course of 162, does this Dodgers-Giants thing do anything for you anymore?
Probably not, but I think that, not to say it's not to say it in any disrespect, but I just think that, it just seems like, whoever we play, it's like a rivalry game, and people get up to play us. So that sort of anticipation, we feel it every series. But when you peel back a layer and you look at kind of the great games, the Dodgers versus Giants, it's always exciting, certainly for fans, and that have been part of this rivalry for generations.
Dan, can you share your thoughts on the protest that started here last week?
No, I don't. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough to be quite honest with you. I know that when you're having to bring people in and deport people and just kind of all the unrest, it's certainly unsettling for everyone. So it's but I haven't done enough and can't speak intelligently on
How was the bullpen today? Glasnow?
Blake Snell, it was all fastballs. I think he got to 20, 25 pitches, and it was crispy. It was good, really good. So I'm not sure what his next one is, but he came out of it really well, which is exciting for all of us. I'm sure the next one will probably start incorporating some spin. So that'll be good. And Blake Trinan also threw one right before Blake. So it's been a good day thus far for us.
What is Blake Trinan's kind of just progression towards play moving forward?
I think it's just probably another few pens, and then he's going to have to face some hitters and then go out on rehab. So obviously it's there's some back-to-backs on the rehab. So probably sometime right after the All-Star break.
What's going to be next for Shohei pitching?
That's a good question. I'm not sure when he's going to go and throw. I think it's 3 innings, so I'm not sure when that's happening though. but obviously we know he's not going out. It's going to be stimulated, and I don't know if we've targeted a day yet.
Dave, some of Clayton's best numbers have come against the Giants, and they've had a lot of really good teams in that time. How much does that speak to his competitive nature, and how fun will it be to watch him compete against a rival?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great having Clayton pitch against those guys here at Dodger Stadium, and yeah, he's done some really good ball games against those guys. So he always gets up for playing the Giants, and I think on the heels of him throwing the baseball the way he did the last time, I think he's really encouraged, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him build on that last one.
To go back to Shohei, I know you said you don't necessarily have to be fully built up to bring him back. Is there a minimum that you need to have Matt before he's in consideration for you guys to pitch?
No, I don't. I would so I guess to that question, I would say probably 2 innings, but you know that's not set in stone. Because I think anything that you can get from Shohei on the mound is additive. But I do think that there's a build-up part that you want to make sure that you're using all your pitches and the recovery. And so what that looks like when he does take them out for us, I can't speak to that right now, but there's still a progression that we're trying to get to make sure he feels comfortable.
Is there anything new you're seeing with Roki Sasaki, and what are you hoping to see from him to take the next step?
Nothing new. I think that right now he's kind of just trying to keep his arm moving. I don't think that he's in a place where he feels that he can add the intensity. So right now we're just kind of status quo.
And Pryor was mentioning something about his confidence. What do you think is kind of the biggest key to kind of getting that confidence back where it was?
I think the number one thing is health. And once we get him back to health where he feels like he can, you know, use his arsenal and be pain-free, then you start getting into believing in your stuff. Your stuff has, you have enough stuff to get hitters out consistently. So I think that once we get to the health part, we build him up, I think he'll be in a good spot as far as on the confidence and really learning from, you know, some of the things that the experience that he's had up to this point.
When you say he's not throwing with getting intensity, is that because he's still feeling something in the shoulder?
I think it's just, I don't know if it's he's feeling something or he just doesn't have the confidence to kind of trust that he's in a good spot. So, you know, any way you want to look at it, he's still kind of just moving his arm, but there isn't a whole lot of intensity right now.
Dave, it's the middle of June and we're seeing the Padres and the Giants for the first time. Do you feel, because of the balanced schedule, a little, you would like to feel them out a little bit more earlier in the season, or?
No, I don't necessarily. I think it's certainly not ideal, but it really doesn't matter. It's the schedule. So, yeah, I mean, not seeing the Giants and the Padres and then seeing them back-to-back or the Padres back-to-back and, 7 times in 10 days seems sort of odd, but a lot of teams are going through it. And I think, net sum, I like the balanced schedule. I think it's good to play all the different teams. I think it's good for fans too.